All right. Hey, good evening, folks. So some of you know me. For those who don't, my name is Setu. I'm the Microsoft AI MVP. So we do, as part of our meetups, we do a lot of hands-on training sessions with a lot of deep learning, machine learning stuff. So this was our preliminary kickoff, getting to look at driverless AI and how it can help your organization out. So today, I just wanted to talk, how we end up using driverless AI within our group as well. And personally, I'm a big fan of driverless AI, right? Back in my older role, when it first came out, I really kind of pestered them to kind of give me a trial license and, ended up becoming a big fan out of it. Purely because, I believe that AutoML is certainly going to change the way data science operates in our space. So before we get into that, right, I have a few of my data scientists come in and speak as well. So I thought, hey, let me give you an introduction to PropertyGuru. I hope most of you know PropertyGuru. Doesn't need an introduction, but what have we been doing on AI in PG? All right. So the first one, the image that we have is, we launched a new product earlier this month, which is called PG Lens. Which is, you take out a PropertyGuru app, you point it at a building using the built-in app camera, and it will tell you, one, which condo you're looking at or which HDB you're looking at, and does it have any listings available for you, right? So it's all done on the device without getting any processing that's being done through remote servers. So everything happens on your device. It's available for iOS only for obvious reasons. No, it will soon be available on Android, but I think it will be a few months before we kind of get in there. But yeah, something that we'll kind of talk about. So, as a typical, data science company, right? No company is complete without doing recommendation systems. So, we thought, like, let's do recommendation system. How hard can it be? And it turned out that for property, it's really, really hard. One, because once a property goes offline, it doesn't come back, right? Especially if it's a sale, it will be a few years before you see it back again. And do you, like, on your free time, go on PropertyGuru and say, let me look up the rents and see what's coming up, right? You will never do that, right? You will do when your rent lease is up, or you're really interested in looking at properties itself for buying, right? You're never going to spend your free time on PropertyGuru, that's for sure. Right, so doing recommendations when you are going to be there for a very short amount of time, and knowing that the properties are also going to be there for a very short amount of time, doing recommendations becomes really, really hard. And that agents typically don't tell you, oh, this is a 10th floor apartment, and who are the prior renters. There's no information as such, right? So doing recommendations becomes very, very hard. So we try to kind of solve some of these problems, and that's why doing recommendation in a property space is very different than doing it for e-commerce, right? Because for e-commerce, your product typically is reprisonable, right? If it gets sold out, you will get the similar product again. So it's easier to tackle some of these things, and you get, you do go on that website again to shop various things, right? So over time, I understand your purchase patterns, what you're interested in. While in property space, it becomes a completely different challenge. So, we try to tackle that. We think we have a decent run rate, so we are able to do a fairly decent task. But I think there is more to come during some of these things. All right. So next one is when you look at the property images itself, right? There are some agents who will come on the website and take up, like, they won't show you anything about the property except their face or their phone numbers. So that's. From a property perspective, it doesn't give you a lot of insight into, how good that property is. Should I go and look at it, or should I just take the price and go with it? So that's another challenge that we run into. And then, when you kind of look at it, right, like you see, the agent taking most of the space on the picture, and that doesn't really tell you, right, how good that property is, or what's the view, or some of those things, right? And sometimes they end up using collage, right? It might not be the same property either. So it makes it very hard for the end customer to really decide just on basis of picture, like, should I just go for it or not, assuming that it's in your price range, right? So we would want nice, clean pictures And that's something that we do through a lot of moderation engine. We also want that, again, being a consumer-facing website, having a significant coverage within the region, you don't want any objectionable images also being shown up, right? So that's something that we tackle internally as well to make sure that all of these processes are clean and fast, and then we don't spend a lot of time in moderation of those images. So that's something that we do it. Here's a small video on our app. All right, so again, a lot of the processing for the PropertyGuru Lens happens on the device itself. So we do image recognition, which happens on the device itself. It identifies what building you are looking at, through the complete list of properties that we have in Singapore. We exactly find out, where you are, again, purely based on geolocation. And then orientation becomes a big challenge, right? So it's augmented reality. So when you point it at a building, how do you know that you're pointing at the right orientation, right? So those sort of corrections that we do on the fly itself, and that what goes into making the PG Lens app. So give it a try. Next I'll have, well, it's still beta, so you can sign up. So it's propertyguru.com.sg/lens, and you'll get an invite for trying it out. So give it a shot if you especially have an iOS device, and I would be eager to learn some of your feedback. So before I move on, we just wanted to kind of give you a look at how we end up using H2O within our organization, and how it helps us to be a bit more agile than the other data science teams. So our team is fairly small, but with H2O AI, it really gives us the boost in driving some of these things. So I'll have Gautam, who's part of my team, to kind of speak more about it.